right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. It is magazine night tonight. I haven't done one of these in a couple weeks, and tonight we are going to do BMX Action 1986. This looks like Dave Cullinan on the cover here. I'd have to look on the inside to confirm, but I'm pretty positive that's him. Factory Kuwahara. I love the outlining in pink on this portion. Very 80s like, kind of looks like a In Excess video or something like that. They did the outlining over the jump right here. We're going to go over some backyards wheeling made easy. There's a word contest, win tons of free prizes. Testing the Hutch's new ultra light aluminum frame sets. I'm kind of interested in seeing something on that. Racing what happened in Las Vegas. And this Las Vegas race, guys, is a USBA race, which I almost forgot about USBA. So it'd be kind of cool to look through that. We also have Jumping Florida's Chasm of Death. And again, since this is a 1986 issue, it's one of the 10-year anniversary issues, and that's why it has this little label here on there. So that's going to be really cool. As always, let's take a look at some fun facts from 1986. So the first fact wasn't really a fun fact. It was actually a little bit tragic. So the Space Shuttle Challenger had gone down in 1986. It crashed or exploded about 73 seconds from its takeoff. So it basically just started falling apart. Unfortunately, we lost 7 crew members. Mike Tyson actually became the heavyweight world champion at that time in 1986. He was only 20 years old, and he beat Trevor Berbick. I remember watching that fight because back in 86, or in the 80s, I should say, when Mike Tyson started going on his rise, pay-per-view wasn't really a thing yet, so a lot of his fights were on HBO. HBO, in my opinion, had the best boxing commentary ever. And anyway, a lot of his fights were televised on HBO, so I was able to watch a lot of his rise. Oprah Winfrey Show began in 1986, and it ran until 2011. And then get this, Oprah Winfrey still remains the highest-rated talk show in American history. And her show's been off the air since 2011, so that's super impressive. Greg LeMond won the Tour de France in 1986, being the first American or non-European to win this race, and that happened in 1986. So obviously that was way before, or not way before, but well before Lance Armstrong came and took over and started doing his thing. And I got really nothing negative to say about Lance because I think a lot of the top riders were doping, but that's a whole other subject. We'll get into that one some other time. 1986, Michael Jordan scored an amazing 63 points in a playoff game against the Boston Celtics. It was still the highest scoring points. I'm sorry, it holds the record for the highest points scored in a playoff game. Although the Celtics actually won that game, the Celtics did sweep the Bulls. And at the time, that 1986 Celtics team was considered one of the greatest NBA teams of all time. So that's actually really cool. And as always, I like to look at movies. So top 3 rated movies for 1986, of course, Top Gun, Crocodile Dundee, and Platoon, which I've seen all 3 of those movies. Anyway, that's it for the fun facts for tonight. Let's get into this magazine. Looks like it's going to be a great one, and I'll see you guys in there. All right, guys, it's actually the next day. I was going to film this last night, and I had this magazine out here. I went over the fun facts. I was getting ready to start, and I looked at the clock, and it was like 12:45. And I go, you know what? I'll just do it. I'll just do it tomorrow. So it's my lunch hour right now. I ate my food, and I figure I got enough time to go through this magazine. So let's have some fun with it now that my mind's all fresh and it's the next day. So like I said, we're going to do August 1986. This cover's awesome, and the good thing about this magazine is completely intact. For the age that it is from 1986, there's no rips or tears in this one. It's in perfect condition. This is my cousin James's magazine. I went right back through the box of magazines that he gave me, and I realized, I didn't do this one, so I pulled it out. Now, there's an interesting thing here I want to share with you guys. Give me one moment. So in the early 2000s, there was a magazine that was released called BMX World, and I have a good supply of these that James loaned me, and I actually have some of these myself that I have left over. I was going to go over these. Now, this is, again, early 2000s. For example, this is a 2006 magazine. This is 1986, so you can see the big difference between the magazines. This is something that I believe would be worthwhile because the photos in here are absolutely amazing. If you guys want to see some reviews on BMX World, please comment below and let me know, and I'll add it to my plan here because I was actually going to bypass this only because the magazine is so massive. But I thought to myself, well, you know, I can skip through the ads and I could probably get through the meat and bones of this within about a half hour. So if this is something you're interested in, let me know. But in the meantime, let's get into this one. We'll go back into the BMX action. So let's open this up. We got the, as always, we have our Haro ad on the left-hand side. It's always on the inside cover. These are your freestyle guys here. This is a great ad. A couple things I want to point out is the whole ad is black and white, but if you look over here on the left behind Wilkerson, you've got this shade of pink that gives it just a splash of color. And if you look at, I think this is Blyther, you can see he's got the yellow on his Vans right here, which is a really cool touch. So the whole thing is in black and white with the exception of this, and the Haro Designs logo. So I try to look at everything, all the details and the hard work that these guys put into creating these ads. I just think it's great. Okay, inside, let's go for it. We got Dear Gork Racing, USBA Las Vegas. Like I said, I don't see a lot of USBA races, and I don't know when USBA ended. I'll have to look that up. But this is going to be pretty cool. We got Dirt, Word Contest. They're going to test the Hutch Jr. Now, there's something about this hutch that I noticed was a little bit ahead of its time, and it's in the forks here. The forks look like almost like a modern fork that you would see today, and we'll look at that later on. We got a freestyle how-to, local trashing, and then outtakes. And then the cover is actually Daryl Young doing the new signature jump, the DY. That's awesome. I didn't realize that was Daryl on the cover. I thought it was Cullinan. No. Was I that wrong? No way. It is. Daryl Young is in... That is nuts. First of all, I didn't even know he was on Kuwahara. And I could have... Man, that's a rad shot, though. Okay. Enough of that. Let's keep going. Okay, what do we got here? Okay, we got our Diacomp ad over here. And I mentioned before that these brakes worked out great for I had an early 80s PK Ripper that I had started racing in the late 80s, and this brake set was on my Haro. I had a Haro RS1. When I switched to the PK Ripper, this didn't reach, so I had to switch over to an Odyssey brake caliper because these were just simply too short, but they work great on my Haro. We got a great Bell ad here. The only thing I didn't like about these Bell helmets with the fixed visor on it was the visor position itself. As you can see, it's almost in the downward position as opposed to a kind of a kinked up position. And it's a little bit flat on the bill. I would love to see something like this, but more with a curved look to it, kind of like you would wear a baseball hat. Maybe not that curved, but something to that effect. I think it would have made it look a little sharper if it came up and if it was curved. I think it would look really cool. All right, let's move on. Oh, this is a great ad. This is a Murray ad. Who do we have here? It's a Jolly Rancher Murray, the hot team for 1986. Check out the most rad freestyle and BMX racing team going with the big names Brad Birdwell, NBL National #1. And we had Todd Corbett, NBL National #1. Kevin Foss and Mark Darnell, free flying freestylers, are intense. Get ready to go. Get ready for a good licking. Murray. And they got the co-sponsor here with Jolly Rancher, which is really cool. And I love this guy's race bike right here. This must be, my best guess is this is Todd Corbett. So check it out. Check out his wheel set, though. They look like they're 1.5s at the very, looks like a 1.5. The frame set itself looks super trick along over here with Birdwell's. But these freestyle bikes, I'm not familiar with these freestyle bikes at all. It almost looks like they're just basically Team Murray's, and they set them up for freestyle. Look at the back here. This really looks like something you would get out of a department store. Very strange. So they're definitely writing Team Murray's in this ad. This frame set, look at the difference between here and here. You can see there's a clear difference. So This is probably a different frame set. All right, let's keep going. We got the Hutch High Performance ad here. The Hutch Hollywood frame set. Wow, this is worth a bundle right now. If you can get one of these original ones in great shape, or good shape, I should say, it's definitely going to be worth a lot. The iconic Hutch pedals and this Hutch stem. I love the Hutch stem, the length of it here from here to here. It's definitely going to help when you have the shorter frame set. So that's a great parts. Let's keep going. Hank and Frank Bicycles out of Oakland, California. Absolutely remember this bike shop. I've been there a few times. And then we have one of my favorite ads, as I've mentioned before, GT We Race, Tommy Brackens. This is one of my favorite ads. Let's keep on going. All right, here we go. Dear Gork, let's read one of these. Okay, Dear Gork, I was thinking of starting to race. All of my friends say that they want to start racing too, but they say if I do race, I run the risk of trashing my bike if I wreck. What do you think? And that was written by Brian Welch, Louisville, Kentucky. And let's see what Gork says. Why buy a car if it sits in the garage all the time because you're afraid to drive it on the road because someone might crash into you? Brian, I highly suggest that you and your pals race. And if your decals get scraped up, send me the bill. I'll personally buy you a new set, Gork. That's pretty cool. Now, the question may seem a little silly, but honestly, it's something that I think everybody struggles with nowadays because, with building a BMX bike like I do, I have my Skyway all built up, and it's in such pristine condition that I'm afraid to take it on the track. Sometimes I go, oh, I don't want to drop it. I don't want it to get scratched. And, Gork's right. I mean, we build them to ride them. There's no reason why it should be a carpet queen unless you're a serious collector. And my bike is a repop, so it's not like it's an original one. So it's definitely built to ride. And I know a lot of collectors probably go through that too. They're like, oh, this thing is not going to get dirty. And I can appreciate that as well. Let's read one more. So this is 30 bikes in 3 years. Holy smokes. Dear Gork, every time I see a picture of Eddie Fiola, he's on a different bike. How many does he have? And that was written by Clinton Morrell out of Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Gork says, it just so happened that right when I opened your letter, Mr. Fiola himself was outside of my office putting together another bike using our warehouse tools. He hangs out here a lot now waiting for Wendy to get off of work. So I stepped out for a second. I let him read your letter, to which he simply answered 12. Unsatisfied, I probably for more info. 15 minutes later, I'm back in here in my office with this. Eddie Fiola has in his garage 1 pink, 3 yellow, 5 chrome, 1 blue, 2 white GT Pro Performers. He also has 1 GPV, which is the downhill bike. Could you imagine the turnout if he ever had a garage sale? That's pretty cool. So he's got 12 completed bikes, and you can see all of these bikes that he's mentioning. These are all GT Pro Performers in all these different color variations. If Eddie still had all of this stuff, it'd be worth a ton as well. This is an ad that we saw recently for General. And oh man, again, this is one of my favorite ads as well. I know that we're seeing a lot of repeats. This is the CW ad. Love this ad because CW did their best to contribute to the freestyle world and the racing world. So it stuck to its roots with the racing. And I love this shot here of Sean Texas coming out of the gate. And I believe this is Jason Donnell. We got Diz Hicks over here, Seppi over here. You've got all this merchandise over here with the t-shirts, frames, forks, and complete race uniforms. This is so awesome, man. I would love, love, love to have an original CW uniform. Maybe not so much the freestyle one, but definitely the race one. All right, let's keep moving. Oh, check it out. Ultra Brights for flight. These are great colors. Again, as we were starting to get away from the checkers from the early 80s, we started getting more into the neon colors. And neon colors aren't really particular for just BMX. I mean, neon was everywhere. I mean, if you look at any retro 80s videos and things of that nature, you're going to see a lot of neon. That was just kind of what was popular at the time. And incidentally, it's funny, on another subject, I've been watching a lot of TikTok, and I see people having actual footage of their high school during the 80s, and I'm kind of disappointed that I never filmed anything from my high school years, especially my senior year. I would have loved to take my dad's camcorder. He had a Hi8 camcorder. It was not that big, It would have been big enough for me to take to school one day and just walk around and film. I think I mentioned that before. Man, if I could turn the clock back and just go one day to school, I would film as much as I could just to have all that footage because it was just a great, great time. First class BMX, I definitely have ordered from there before. Let's take a look at some of the prices here just real quick. We got a GT Pro frame and fork set, which ran for $129.99 or $129.95. Now the GT Pro Performer went for $117. Now, here's the thing that's going to trip me out. The Hutch Hollywood frame and fork was $139.95. That's insane because that frame and fork right now is probably worth, 5, 6 times that now, which is insane. I wish I knew then what I know now. Because listen, here's the Skyway TA, and that ran for $137.95, which is about what I paid. So imagine if I had the original one, which I basically sold on the cheap because I wanted to build or buy my Haro. Oh, here we go. USBA Pro Series number 3, Las Vegas. Is it over yet? These are some great race shots. It looks like here, let's look at the words here so I don't get myself all confused. Just looking at the sequence should give you an idea of how dusty the track was. The crowd was gagging, but it was the USBA that really choked. By the way, that's Travis Trippera out in front. So we got Travis here in this sequence, and you see him over here. He's getting over this jump nice and smooth. Look at the retro Mongoose race pants. They're not even tapered at the bottom. We got a Huffy Rider here. My best guess is this is probably Stu Thompson right here. Based on the size of this dude, this is a great shot. Great, great shot. Okay, let's keep on moving. Oh, I love this shot. Look at this one. What does it say? Right before your very eyes. The 15-16 Open. Mike King all harrowed out. This is amazing. We'll comment on that in a second. Eric Carter proving it. Here's Eric. And Chris Back is keeping him on his toes 1, 2, and 3. So let's take a look at this shot. This is amazing, guys. I love this shot for many reasons. First of all, Mike could put together his gear. And I've mentioned this before. The only thing missing in this shot for Mike is he's not running Haro gloves. But everything else is near perfection. With the Echo helmet, all the stickers are meticulously placed. Haro, Motives, Echo. He even has Haro stickers in between the snaps of his visor. Here it says Haro. Underneath he put a sticker that says Racing so he can kind of give it another, kind of its own custom touch. He's got the Haro Jofa going on right here. The Haro Classic uniform with a Haro patch here. Echo Muscle Power here on his chest. And then, that's not all. When you go down and you look at his number plate, Ralph's Bicycle is perfectly centered around the 3. Motives again, so obviously he's doing stuff for Motives. The Haro Racing the Haro Racing sticker here, Haro Racing sticker here, Echo, and then Lulu. That's my sister's dog's name, by the way, Lulu. Oh no, my niece's dog's name. That's pretty funny. Eric Carter's looking awesome here. Now, what I like about Eric's shot here is this right here, this Oakley face mask and goggle combo was, I thought, so trick. It made you look like a stormtrooper in a way. I definitely rocked this look with an open face helmet. I thought it was so cool. I had the dark, I don't think mine were mirrored. Mine were just black. Along with this face mask, it looks so trick. This is a great shot. And if you look at Eric for a second, underneath it says World Champion right underneath Mike's arm right here. So Eric was a reigning champ right here. So this is a great, great shot. All right, what do we got over here? This month's cover candidate, Daryl Young, wailing tail on the rest of the Pro Cruiser heavies. That's Turnell Henry giving Daryl fits. Richie Anderson gave both of them troubles in the main, though. That's a great shot. And again, I did not know Daryl was on Kuwahara, so that's so cool. And what do we have here? Even though he only got 3rd and 16X, you've got to believe that Glenn Palvosky is hotter than the sales at Chabasco's, and that stuff burns your mouth. Whatever that means. But anyway, that's really cool. Oh, wow, they only had 72 moto count. What? For a national? That's really low, guys. Wow. That's crazy. I don't want to keep reading too much because that might take too long. But that's crazy. What does it say here? Which brings us to the present race, Las Vegas Pro Series number 3. If you all remember, the USBA scheduled a 5-race Pro Series with a $7,500 pro purse up at each one, and then there's a $10,000 up for the grands. Those 6 races decide the USBA overall pro titles, and another $10,000 will be split among the top 5 overall pros. No car for people to bicker about. So in other words, they didn't give a car away for that one. Whoa, man, these shots are amazing. Look at this one, guys. What do we have here? Billy Griggs was finally on a new red line, a red one this time, but he had more fun cruising his new mini truck down the Vegas Strip, pulling off third gear chirps than he did on the track. Second behind Charlie in 17 and over open. Is all he could manage. So it wasn't the greatest race weekend for Billy, but man, look at this shot. Now, just like Mike, Billy is one of my favorite stylish riders in terms of how he put himself together. And let's just look at a few things. Obviously, you got the Redline forklifter bar, which he's got tightened down so much it puts kind of a bend on it, which makes it look really trick. He's got the frame on the handlebar pad right above that. And then the helmet setup is amazing with the Echo helmet and this lightning bolt look right here, the JT Racing lightning bolt. Such a good touch. I love that touch. And the giant Redline sticker above the Echo helmet here. He's got the Redline pad set that's pushed all the way up to the head tube, which I think is the proper position for it. He's rocking the Vans with the Haro pants with the Redline logo on the shin here. Look at the Redline logo going up his ribcage on the back here. Giant Redline logo on the back with his name on the back. All of this stuff I love to pay attention to. These are not my favorite Haro gloves, but they are very trick looking. And then so this picture here from the second place rider, I'm not sure who this is, but he's rocking the GHP here, which is really cool. Chrome frame and fork with a colored fork on it. It's probably my best guess since it's black and white, probably a red fork, but this looks really, really cool. All right, let's keep going. Oh, we got a good shot here of Cody Smart. Cody Smart, he could have done better, and that's all it says. But this is a great shot. Man, look how close he is to these tires as he's hooking this flat turn right here. His foot is literally over the tires on this shot right here. This is something how we used to rock in the 80s. Definitely can't do it today because everybody's clipped in, so you can't swing your foot over. Love the JT helmet with the JT face mask and the JT gloves. Everything is JT here. So even though it doesn't look like he has a factory ride at the moment, he's definitely looking factory with all this gear. So it's a great, great shot. Okay, let's keep on going, guys. Oh my gosh, this magazine's filled with great photos. Who do we got here? MRC, huh? Remember, it's Mike Redmond Concepts. The team stars such notables as Ronnie Anderson and Damian Burnell. A hot team that you'll be hearing more about in the near future. Wow, that's a great shot. And look at this one right here, guys. You got to love this. These are two titans right here. You got Lonkarovich and you have Texas. CW did good when they believed in Sean Texas. He's no longer a chaser, but a chasee. He is, guys, go get him. So you figure what happened in this scenario, and you don't know it from the photo, but Pete left CW to join Haro, and then Sean took the role as the elite rider for CW at the time. So this is really cool to see these guys going head to head like that. And I love the Haro RS1 here in the background that Pete's riding on right now. So very, very cool shot. Okay, let's see the results, guys. So what happened at this USBA race? So for A Pro, Pete Lonkarovich won it. Ron Anderson took second. Now remember, in 86, Pete and Ronnie were always going at it left and right. It was always one of those two. Toby Henderson picked up the third, Greg Hill with the fourth, Travis Chiprez, Harry Larry, Stu Thompson, and Richard Fleming, all superstars. They had a good pro turnout, by the way. Pro cruiser Richie Anderson took the win. Ronnie Anderson picked up second, so the Anderson brothers swept the cruiser class. Ronnie had a good weekend because he basically he got second in A Pro and second in Pro Cruiser. Darrell Young picked up the third, Toby Henderson, Rick Palmer, Stu Thompson, and Turnell Henry. For Pro Open, Sean Texas won Pro Open. Ronnie Anderson with another second, so he tripled seconds. And then Richie Anderson picked up third, so Richie had a pretty good weekend. For B Pro, Fred Johnson won it with Tracer Finn and Brian Gass in tow. Great, great finish. Lots of big names in this race. 17 and over expert, Darwin Griffin won it with Kevin Hull and Dana Griffin. So Darwin and Dana, brothers, going at it in 17 and over expert. 16 expert, Eric Carter actually won the class. Mikey King took the second and Glenn Pavlovsky picking up the third. And then we'll just look at 15 expert. Chris Backus won that one with Dean LaBerge and then DeJohn Worley. And one more, guys. 14 expert, Sam Ariano picked it up. Damian Burnell, Jason Baker. These are all big, big names. So we had a really good turnout. Look at that. 13X was won by J.D. Finney. 12 expert was Robert Zanow. 11 expert Danny Nelson. 10 expert Mike Luna. 9 expert Travis Younger. Man, all big names in the sport. 17 and over open, Charles Townsend won that one with Billy Griggs and Doug Davis in tow. And 15-16 open, Mikey King, Eric Carter, and Chris Backus. I'm going to stop there, guys, because this is going to take too long. But, man, I'm really impressed. With a small moto count, they had a lot of big names at this race, which is really, really cool. Okay, we got the Skyway ad here. The first Tough Wheels had no competition till now, or they still don't, excuse me. And I love all the colors. Now you can see that the colors are starting to splash like Skittles now. So we're seeing a lot of colors on the Skyway Tough Wheels. These wheels are still very popular. They're exactly the same as they were then. I know this because I own them. Sorry guys, I had to take a drink. And I would love to I do still have on my agenda to pick up a pair of graphites with a cool flange. That's still on my agenda. Let's keep going. Hot prices on Hot BMX. This is a great ad right here. Not a huge menu of parts, but everything you need right here to order your parts. And we got this great, great shot here of Eddie Fiola. Eddie's got the whole dyno gear going on here. So dyno being part of GT, you got the dyno gear bag, the helmet, the visor, the shoes, the pants, the shirt, dyno from head to toe. Very, very cool. Oh, the word contest. Definitely not an annual 5th ever. Definitely not. Annual 5th ever World Word Contest. Man, I'm telling you guys, I've been doing these magazine reviews now well over a year, and I still get tongue-tied by the way they wrote this stuff out. Okay, so these are just some funny words and some of the definitions for some of the slang that we were using back in the day. Some of these I don't even know about or ever used, but I'll just read a couple of them. ADI. Initials stand for all dialed in, which can relate to anything. So your bike's all ADI, it's all dialed in. Anti-seize means when something is so dialed that it'll never bog. Okay. Astrobiff, whipping it out in the midair. The Barbie doll, a dumb blonde that total airhead, stolen from the Devo song. Belch buckets, big gulps, or the 32-ounce soft drinks at AM/PM mini markets. And these just go on and on. These are pretty cool. All right, let's keep on moving, guys. Otherwise, it'll take me too long to get through these. Man, look at the artwork is actually kind of cool. Poser Patrol. Okay, let's take a look at it. You got a guy with the long hair, sunglasses, the Motley Crue jersey. T-shirt, and he's got handcuffs here on his belt loops. Poser Patrol, groups of semi-long-haired kids wearing their Motley Crue shirts, handcuffed belts that they bought at Mervyn's, an imitation leather nylon jacket, usually found cruising malls. What really gives them away is when you ask them who Metallica is, and they say it's a new restaurant. That's pretty cool. All right, let's keep on going. Well, anyway, for this contest, though, first prize was a brand new GHP, fully set up race bike, and then second prize is going to be assorted componentry from Tioga, which includes seat post, pedals, sprocket or spider, cranks, seat, stem, tubes. Pretty cool. You even get a set of hubs, so it's not too bad. Oh, third prize, you got some ACS rims with a rotor. And then fourth place, you picked up the Odyssey System 2000 caliper brake set. And then you get a flight pad set if you picked up fifth place. So that's really cool. I love this ad. This is, again, R.L. Osborne. He's still on Redline. And, again, all the gear here is perfect. This is a race uniform, essentially. But this is definitely not a race bike. This is a really, really cool bike. I know, very sought after by collectors. Rockville BMX, famous bike shop. We got some dirt here. Let's read something about dirt. So we got the Ellis update. Let's see. I had just about given up. 1 month had gone by, and still Gary Ellis had no sponsor. What? I couldn't believe it. Gary is up there next to Pete, Ronnie, and Tommy. Those four guys rule BMX right now. As I was putting the finishing touches on this month's dirt, saying how in the entire world is stunned that Ellis hasn't been picked up yet, who but Gary Ellis himself should call me and say that he got off the phone with GT and that they had just worked out a deal. Gary is now officially teammates with Tommy. Wow, that's massive because we know pretty much what happened after that. Gary was all GT all the way to the end of his career. Now remember, this is 1986, meaning that he ran damn near a decade, over a decade with GT, and he stayed loyal to them all the way to the very end of his career. And they did him right at the end of his career with the commemorative jerseys and so forth that was available. So it really, really worked out for him, and that's really cool to read. Sponsorship summary: Todd Slavic is now on free agent as of 1986. Travis Chipres has hooked up a ride with Mongoose. Richard Fleming is now riding for Quickline. Very cool. Todd Henry hooked up with KHS. And Rob Lynch is the owner of Pedal Power Bike Shop. Told me that the two most controversial riders are on the two most controversial teams. Ronnie Anderson is now on MRC, and Richie is riding for Power Products. Why MRC and Power Products are controversial, we don't quite know. I don't know either, honestly, guys. What do we got here? We got the Hutch Windstyler, pretty much freestyle bike. I don't know what's going on with this sort of tough wheel, because this is definitely not a Skyway tough wheel, and it's got the mounts for the reflectors right here, so definitely not my choice for wheel set, but I do love the color combination. The blue and white does look really cool. All right, let's keep on going. Great ad from Diamondback. Diamondback spared no expense. You got Dominguez here surfing with his bike, and I love the Dalmatian there. Of course, you got the Diamondback snake. And the new Hutch Junior frame sets. Wow. Now, this is the frame set that I was taking a look at earlier. I love the fork design. It's very, very forward thinking for Hutch at the time. So that's really, really cool. Let's keep on going. So this is very, very rare, guys, because they're testing a bike that's essentially designed for the little guys. So this is a mini racer, and the whole test is based on that. As I was thumbing through this magazine last night, I realized, I don't think I've ever seen this where they tested a mini. It's always the pro size bike. So I thought that was really unique. This is a great shot of these three, by the way. And it's Robert E. Lee, the lunatic, on the fringe, and some other kid who couldn't just cross it up like the rest of them. He had to go out and pull off a micro 1-footer. Oh, right there. That's really cool. What did you expect from BMXA test rider cooperation? That's a really, really cool shot. Oh, wow. It's funny to look at this because these guys are all grown men now. But this was Rich Hausman over here, Robert Zanow right here. I'm probably saying that wrong. And then Mike Luna. Look how young Mike Luna was in this shot. It's really cool. This is a great, great shot. Now, this is what I was talking about, guys. Take a look at the fork set on this Hutch. If that doesn't scream, hey, we're thinking ahead, we're thinking future, I don't know what does, because this is essentially the kind of design you would expect to see on today's BMX race bikes, although I still favor the original look of the forks. I don't really like the futuristic stuff, although I do understand, or the present day stuff, but I do understand its purpose. That's a great, great shot. And here's your frame set right here. So the frame set by itself, and here's the funny thing, we just read earlier, we were going through one of the ads and we were checking some of the price points for the pro frame sets. The mini frame sets are more expensive. This complete frame set is $250. So that's at least over $100 more than what you would have expected to pay for a pro frame set, at least back in '86. As we all know now, frame sets are super expensive, but they're complete works of art. I love looking at the modern day stuff, and the way it looks is just so futuristic to me, and it blows my mind how far we've come. Although I still favor the old school stuff, I really like how the sport's progressed. Okay, we got another ad here. This is a great ad right here. White Hot, California. You got Eric Rube, Travis Chipper, Sam Ariano, and I gotta love this colorway on this Mongoose right here. with the graphite looking sort of pro class wheels. Everything else on it is white, super clean. I love this bike, by the way. Let's keep on going. This is a great ad here. Forget it, Seppi. This one's mine. Come on, Diz, give me back my hooker. Now, doesn't this look like an album cover, guys? This looks like it could be on the cover of Rat or something, or Motley Crue or something. That's really good. Twisted Sister, whatever you want to call it. Nighthawk BMX, Lychee brake sets, the backwards wheelie. Oh, wow. Performed by Scotty Freeman, Factory Skyway. He's a smaller rider, but he was really good ground. He was really good at the ground tricks here. You got one, he kind of rolls back into a kind of a wheelie position, and he rolls it all the way back around, complete rotation, and rides away. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Let's keep going here. We got more Dear Gork. Let's read one more, guys. Dear Gork, I'm writing to you about Vans. Some kids at my school think that Vans are out of style and say geeky things about them. I think my Vans are pretty rad. What do you think? That was from Walt Roberts, Shreveport, Louisiana. He goes, I don't know. I've never seen your Vans, but I know for a fact that my Vans are still in style around here. Vans still rule the world's feet. Just look at every picture in here. 90% of Vans, 10% Converse, Gork. Now, this is kind of unique because this was written in 86, and I was still wearing Vans in 86 because I was a BMX racer and we wore Vans. And I remember I was in class one day, and it was around 1987-ish. I think I was a junior in high school, and I was wearing Levi 501s, and I had them rolled over and cuffed, and I was wearing a pair of red Vans. And I was sitting at my desk, and I was doing my work, and this girl actually said the same thing that happened to Seth. She goes, why are you still wearing Vans? Those are so played out. And I'm like, I'm a BMX racer, man. We all wear Vans, and that was my response. And it's in her face now because, hell, Vans are super popular. It's 2025. If you go to the mall, man, everybody sells Vans, and they are exactly the way they were. With now there's improvements to them, but they're pretty much exactly the way they were back then. So yeah, in your face, people who thought Vans were out of style. We got BMX Action BMX Cycle Company here. And whoa, this is local thrashing at Zellwood. Not exactly the legend of Corn, man. This is a great shot, man. He's sailing over the locals right here. And who is the rider? Oh, that's Corbett. Wow, he's killing it. Here's another great. Whoa, look at this one. That is awesome. This guy is way gnarl. Vision trippers, fully clicked helis, grossies, tables. Shall we go on? Troy Kelly at the controls. Wow, Troy, you're the man. That is a rad, rad, rad shot. And then we've got Corbett here again. Look at his socks. You gotta love that. Ooh, who's this? 13-year-old John Edwards, reaching new heights. Like most Florida, he's MCS mounted. That's a great shot. Great, great shot. He's obviously a racer. You see the Uni Turbo right here. The 1 point, it looks like 1.5. These look like bullseye hubs. This is a full-on race bike right here, and he's kicking it. He's killing it. That's an awesome one. These are some more great shots right here. A lot more locals right here. I like the local thrashing, the subscription offer. And then we've seen this one before. You get the Harry Larry poster right here. I'd love to have this poster, by the way. If anybody out there actually has this poster, I'd like to know. Frankfurt BMX, and we got Vans Rockville BMX. More skateboard ads. Oh, look at this, guys. Man, I really, really hope GT comes back to life. Now, I was watching a YouTube video yesterday, and I always forget the guy's YouTube channel. I'm sorry. He's probably in his 40s, bald guy, glasses. He's got a really, really cool channel, and he was talking about GT's really on a pause. It's not really done yet. So hopefully they can reemerge and bring these out, because this frame and fork set right here, yep, I would build this bike right now if I had it. If I can find one, I would definitely do it, and I definitely would equip it with some graphites. But that's a cool, cool frame set. I love it. Let's keep going. And we got the outtakes here, and these are all the girl riders, I think. So let's read this. They've finally gotten enough to have a main. Oh, this is the pro girls class. These are all the pros at the time. And what do we have here, by the way? Gabby Bahai, Tammy Spavin, Jeannie Robertson, Barb Heigl, Robin Desjardins, Zenny Zuner, Margot Carroll, Kathy Tedesco, Christine Linsnock, Tammy Will Never. That's awesome. So this is the first of the official pro girls class, and it's awesome because you look at the pro girls or pro women, I should say, and this is where it all began. So that's really epic that we ran into that photo. And guys, that's a Hanner ad right there for a freestyle bike, and that is it. Ooh, look at Torker on the back page here with their own freestyle stuff. Very cool. But we did it. That is BMX Action, August 1986. I actually got to do this on my lunch hour. I've never done that before. So I'm pretty cool with that. And I still got about 10 minutes left, so I'm going to get this all edited. We'll get it posted up this afternoon. As always, guys, please like and subscribe. Killed the last video. Did almost 1,400 views in a week, which is awesome. We picked up 19 subscribers. So, guys, we're going in the right direction. I'll get this one posted up, and I'm thinking Friday, I'm going to try to do a race video Friday night. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching. Like I said, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.